After over 9 months into the Ukraine war, the West has finally reached an agreement that intends to deny Russia of war resources. The G7 and EU agreed to a $60 per barrel price cap on Russian crude oil. The price cap, previously negotiated on a political level between the G7 and EU, will come into effect with an EU embargo on Russian crude oil from Monday. The embargo will prevent shipments of Russian crude by tanker vessel to the EU. These shipments account for 2/3 of imports, and an embargo would potentially deprive Russia's war chest of billions of euros. The G7 said it was delivering on its vow, that is to prevent Russia from profiting from its war of aggression against Ukraine. This is in addition to support stability in global energy markets and to minimize negative economic spillovers of Russia's war. The price cap is designed to make it harder to bypass the sanctions by selling beyond the EU. The White House has welcomed the deal, saying a price cap will help limit Putin's ability to fund the Kremlin's war machine. Meanwhile, Russian President Vladimir Putin said Russian strikes on Ukrainian infrastructure were inevitable. He made these remarks in his first conversation with German Chancellor Olaf Scholz since mid-September. In a telephonic conversation, Putin told Scholz that such measures have become a forced and inevitable response to Kyiv's provocative attacks on Russia's civilian infrastructure. During the hour-long call, Scholz, on his part, said or urged the Russian president to come as quickly as possible to a diplomatic solution. However, Putin urged Berlin to reconsider its approaches. This while accusing the West of carrying out destructive policies in Ukraine, stressing that its political and financial aid meant Kyiv completely rejects the idea of any negotiations. The developments came around the same time when the White House released a statement saying the U.S. president does not intend to speak to his Russian counterpart about ending the Ukraine war. The White House argued that conditions for such discussions currently do not exist. At the same time, on ground zero, Ukrainian authorities say 3 people were killed and 7 wounded in a Russian shelling of the Kherson region over the past 24 hours. The regional governor says Kherson and other parts of the region were bombarded 42 times in the same period. Meanwhile, Russian-backed officials in Donetsk and 3 people died on Friday after Ukrainian forces shelled the eastern Ukrainian city. And in a grisly development off from the war zone, Ukrainian Foreign Ministry says several Ukrainian embassies abroad received packages containing animal eyes. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.